Hi guys, so have you ever wanted to make a lot of money with only doing one item? Well, you should do a legendary Gen 3, Generation 3 from EOD End of Dragons, okay? You should do this because it gives you a lot of gold and a lot of the materials that it asks you for are account bound, so you can get a lot of profit. Right now the profit is going a little bit down. It's not completely insane as it used to be. Right now it's only 800 gold, not that much, but it is not bad at all. You know, making a legendary, well, and with an investment of what, 1,000 gold to make 800, and this 1,000 gold can essentially just be done by getting account bad items like antiques, well, items that you do metas, that you get by doing metas and other type of content like antique summoning stones by doing Dragon Sand, and the weekly antique summoning stones that you can get from Levi's right here. I already got them. Chunk of ancient hamburgers by doing edible meta that you can do every day in 100. You know, you can start stacking them up. Mysticons that you get daily, or you can buy in trading post. Jade runestones that you can get by doing Saint Lejeune, and you should check my Saint Lejeune guide on how to do it very fast in the description in my YouTube. And members of battle, all of this, all members of arena, right? All of this, you know, materials that you get by playing essentially the game, and some of them that are a bit harder to get, but you can just buy in trading post, and they're not that expensive. You know, consider using all these materials, you know, to make the cost way cheaper, and then getting a huge profit by just using account items that you will never be able to use, like Imperial Favors, Spirit Charts, and the map completion. It's very good, and of course the Gift of Battle and Essence of Luck. So, how do you do this? Well, first, you should start by getting one sort of discipline, you know, armor, weaponsmith, artificer, or huntsman to 500 in order to make this legendary, and then buying, depending on the legendary you want to do, the corresponding recipe for the precursor, because you essentially have to get this precursor to transform it into the big legendary. All of these precursors you have to get them by crafting them with these recipes that you can get from Levi's here. Leibas, from Artificer, from Huntsman, and for Weaponsmith. And you essentially use them by getting, the recipe will tell you what to do. It's very easy. I can show you as well on how essentially it works. But also, you can, if you want to skip this, you can essentially just go into training post, search for dragon, Dragon's Bite, for example, Dragon's Wing. All of these are in the training post as well. You can also just, if you want to skip the legendary process of making everything, you can also just sell this using your Imperial Favors and Spirit Charts. It's definitely less money, but you can still do it. And also, honestly, I personally buy them instead of crafting them myself, because that way I can save up my Spirit Charts, because I get more I get more Imperial Favors than I get Spirit Charts by playing the game, and therefore I can honestly have a bunch of money, you know, essentially invest in make more Gen 3s in a less amount of time, so making more gold. But yeah, you can go here in your Artificer, for Dragon, and for example, Dragon's Gaze to make the focus, you can just craft it here. You have to get these materials that you can only do once daily. For example, essentially in order to make this, I need to do Glove of Elder Spirit Residue, craft one, right? Let's wait for it so I can show you. Have to close it down. Then, well, I don't have the wood planks, but essentially you transform this into the Spirit World plank, and then 2 Spirit World planks into the Focus Core. Then the Focus Core with a Blessing of the Jade Empress that you can get, and I'll show you how to get it. Then make the other version of it, the same process, right? The other part of it. Then the Transcendent Crystal, that you need some hydrocatalytic reagents that essentially you buy from this guy. From any crafter by essentially buying it with research notes, and you can get a guide on how to get research notes. I also have one of those. And then crafting and also buying the Eldritch Scroll with Spirit Shards from the person from the Mystic Forge right here. From the Mystic Forge vendor right here, the Ayami I think it's called, I forget the name. Lucifer Attendant, whatever, you can just buy it here. Eldritch Scroll, and transform it into a precursor. Otherwise, you can just buy it. And of course, the Blessings of Jade Empress that you will need not only to make the the precursor, but also you'll need 5 to craft the legendary. As you can see here, I'll show you, and you can get them by going in here in Saturn Province into the monastery waypoint, going into this gate, going into this NPC, keeper of the Jade Bolt, talking to him, and he'll sell you this. Now it won't show you this this menu right away. This NPC will actually ask you to give them these specific items once a week in order to access this vendor that you get by doing every meta in EOD, Dragon Scent, Gang War, New Canning City meta, and Blackout meta, and Elevate Assault. But you can also just buy them from a training post, just search Statuette, and you can get them to them. You can give this to us, and then getting Blessings of the Jade Empress. You will need 5 to make a legendary, or 7 to make the legendary and the precursor if you are not buying it. Now, after that, everything else is honestly pretty straightforward. Same things with other legendaries if you have done it before. I would recommend going to Heroes to Efficiency, search for your the legendary you want to do, sign up, right? Use your own materials, and it will tell you the cost for you if you have, considering how many materials you have, and then it would also tell you which ones you're missing and the crafting steps. I don't know why this didn't update it, but it usually does tell you. It will tell you exactly what you have. There we go. So it tells you what you have right here, what the materials you have, and it tells you as well which ones your shopping list, essentially what you need to make it and how much it costs, right? Which you can use in order to have a better idea of what you have to do, and also you're not having to go into your material storage, checking how much you have, blah, blah, blah. You can just go in here, buy exactly this, and you'll have everything to make your legendary, right? Then you want to start making, for assuming that you have everything, you want to start fusing everything together. You'll need your precursor, easy, you can buy it, as we said before, or craft it yourself. Gift of Orion's Argument, that is made by 10 Tales of Adventure, 1 Lab Lighter's Badge, 1 sheet of premium paper that you can all buy, but you also need, and this is why you need your crafting to 500, a Deldemar Steel Pistol Barrel, which is one of the things that you craft by making the precursor. So if you go here, to a crafting station, it will tell you, well, when you do the precursor, or even if you don't have the precursor recipe, you can search for this item specifically. Well, in this case, I'm just gonna not get the steel pistol barrel. Instead, I'm gonna show you with another example because I'm in my garden and I wanna log off. But you can just go here, search for the dragon, focus, and as you can see, this is the one I'm gonna need for a focus. It's not the same one here, but essentially, depending on the legendary you're gonna make, it will ask you for one of the pieces of the precursor in order to make the poem of the specific legendary you're making. In this case it's pistols, but in this case it would be focus, so I will need the spirited focus core, not the fortified precursor focus core, but instead the spiritwood focus core. You would craft that, and you would merge this on the Mystic Forge with all these 4 things in order to create the poem of pistols. Then you will have to buy, and this is horrible, this sucks, 100 gold total sold by Miyani, essentially the person right here, Mystic Forge Ascendant. You'll have to buy 100 of these to craft them, to craft a Gift of Argument. Then Gift of Research, you'll have to merge 250 thermocatalytic reagents with 500, 250 each, hydrocolloidic reagents that you buy from the crafting vendors by using research notes, and using as well 250 Essence of Luck. If you do not have enough Essence of Luck, what you want to do is buying some ectoplasm. If let's say you don't have it, buying some ectoplasm. Let me just buy, just buy 10 just to show you guys. Buying some, going to the, getting it. Then you can use your Mystic Forge, you can use your Mystic Salvage Kit or your Silver Fed, of course, salvage stack in order to get some luck. Boop. And if you have some artificer, now you'll get some luck. You can, if you have an artificer, which you should for this specifically as well, you can transform your essence of luck, no matter the quality, into the orange essence of luck. I'll just show you. Let's say I'm just gonna essentially create a blue into, green into blue, then green into yellow, and then yellow into orange. You transform it, and assuming that, you know, I got a lot of it, I would get 250, and I would be able to use this essence of luck into the Gift of Research. You craft everything here, you merge everything here on the Mystic Forge, and you get the Gift of Rings Argument. Now to the next one. This is very easy as well. You need to get the Draconic Tribute, Mystic Clovers, and essentially you can get Mystic Clovers by doing Wolf's World, PvP, daily rewards, and of course as well from the vendors of each of the game modes, except TP. I think you can only get them by doing one from Sassy, the Mystic, the Strike one in Arborstone. You'll get 5 per week. You can get it by Dugan from Wolf's World that just got implemented, and you can get by Dugan. You can get 5 per week. You can get 10 from raids, and you can get 10 for from fractals from buy for 373. Right. So in total, you can get 1, 2, 3, so 20, 30. You can get exactly 30 per week by just these currencies, which essentially should almost get you enough to make a legendary, honestly, a week. And this is what I have been doing. And if you're missing a bit more, you can also just use Mystic Clovers, Mystic Coins, Gloves of Ectolescence, Obsidian Shards, and Crystals or Philosopher's Stones in order to essentially gamble your way into Mystic Clovers by putting them in the Mystic Forge. Now, what I recommend is, ideally you do never want to do this because you're probably gonna lose some money. It's always better to get them from the weeklies, but it's an option as well, and you probably at the end of the day will make a profit by doing this Gen 3 anyways, right? You'll get this Mystic Clovers, 5 amalgamated draconic lodestones that you can also get by crafting them or buying them or doing Dracar as well. And I'll show you how. And you can also you have to craft the Gifts of Claws, Scales, Bones, Fangs, Bloods, Venom, Totems, and Dust by getting the materials that it asks you for. And I'll show you the ones you need. But honestly, these materials you can get them by just playing the game, buying them in the training post, or using your, I think I have it here, your Jade protocol. The scavenger protocol magic trophies, and just killing random stuff, and of course volatile magic. And I have an actual guide on how to transform volatile magic, this one here, into these tier 6 materials and other materials that you need. But essentially, you wanna go into your 500 artificer, huntsman, or weaponsmith, and craft the Gift of Blood, Gift of Bones, all of the gifts, merge them together as it says here to get this ones too, these 2 gifts. And also you can also create the amalgamated draconic lodestone by getting 10 crystal lodestones, 10 destroyed lodestones, 10 corrupted lodestones, 10 modern lodestones for each one, so essentially 50 each, or you can just buy them from trading post, whichever is better for you. You merge everything here together and you make it the Draconic Tribute, and at the end for the Gift of Jade Mastery, which is essentially the EOD, gift, you have to get 100 Jade Runestones, 200 chunks of pure Jade that you can just buy in the trading post, 100 chunks of Ancient Ambergris, 5 of the Blessings of the Dead Empress that we already saw how you get, to create the Gift of Dragon Empire, Bloodstone Shard that you get from Yanni, and it costs 200 Spirit Shards, you know, the vendor from the Mystic Forge, the Gift of Saturn Prophecy, New Canaan City, Echo of Earth, and Dragon Sand that you can only get by doing map completion on each of the EOD maps, or doing the lantern run, which essentially makes you, you know, those little lanterns that appear in dragons in EOD, in the dragons. You essentially have to light them all up, and if you do them all in one zone, it'll give you one of these gifts, so that way you don't have to create another character in order to do the map completion again. In this way you can just repeat it on the same character if you want. Now, I would heavily recommend getting Blish to do this, because it gives you, I'll show you here right now, it gives you some marker packs that essentially tells you exactly where to go, in which way. I would really recommend the marker pack. In order to get it, you essentially go to Blish, HUD. You go, I already have it, but you go to manage, module repository. You go and get the pathing one. Let me see. Find it here. You get the pathing one here. You install it here. Like just this button will appear here. I already have it, so it doesn't work. But go to pathing. You open settings. You go to download marker packs. You essentially download the one that you need. In this case, I would heavily recommend. Where is it? There's a lot of them for other stuff as well, of course. Test trails. This one will give you a very good one to get not only map completion and not only the lantern run that it will activate whenever you go to one of the EOD maps, but it will also give you other stuff for achievements and stuff. And if you want to disable it ever, you just go here in marker and trails, and all markers, and you just boop, disable it, and you'll be fine, right? Now, and you essentially get these 4 gifts in order to get the gift of Kantha, and you essentially also do, and then you also have to get 100 antique summoning stones in order to merge in with everything. Then you will craft the gifts of Jade Mastery, and then you transform all of these 4 into 1 legendary, and then you sell the legendary. Now, how you sell it, you can, and here I would heavily recommend to. There's a few options that you have. You can go in here, and if you can list you essentially can list the legendary, like here, right? You can list essentially undercut the person before, right? You can just undercut it here and sell it for a little bit less than the last person was putting it at. You have to be careful about this because it'll maybe make it so another person will undercut you and your legendary will get stuck in there for a while. So you have to accept that if you're gonna list it like this, instead of insta-selling, it will maybe stay there for a while and you have to wait for the money. You can also insta-sell it, but you'll lose an insane amount of money. If for example, if I were to destroy, essentially insta-sell this for this price, 1951, you have to consider that there's gonna be a 15% tax of this money. So 1051 gold per 15 divided by 100, I will lose 292 gold from this sell. Instead of getting 1951, I would essentially get 1658 gold, which it's a big difference between 1951 to 1658. It's a big difference in terms of gold. Now, personally, what I do, and some people don't like that I do this, but I don't care, I'm gonna tell you anyways, is that I go around searching for a good insta-sell because I hate listing it and having to wait. And I would not recommend this if you like you like selling, but essentially I go around and checking each of the legendaries before I craft one, and searching for a good insta-sell. I search for a good insta-sell, because sometimes you find this random ass, a unicorn legendary that instead of selling it for, insta buying it for 1900 is like 2300, and I can just sell that for 2300, almost the price of the listings instead of the insta sells, and essentially make more or less the same profit as I would just, if I were to just list it. Because of course, if you list it, you'll also get a tax. It will just be a lot of the gold that you lose, the other person is essentially gonna pay for. So it's not that bad, right? Now you can also go to the Overflow Trading Company, which is a Discord, and I'll link the link in the description, that essentially trades legendaries in between other players, and in order to essentially not get the tax from the trading post. Now this is a bit more dangerous because of course there's not going to be any guarantee that you actually get your money, but to be honest, as long as you be careful about this and check for the blacklist that they have in that Discord, and you don't trade with someone who is really very, very new, you can probably trade it without having any trouble, because they really take seriously the security there. And as if they have other people that they have traded with, and you are talking with someone who has traded a lot, and other people know them, they're not in a blacklist, you probably and most likely will have no trouble selling this, and you'll get the whole profit without actually losing any money to the taxes. And you can do this as well. You can essentially trade the legendary for more materials that you actually used to make the legendary, and essentially make another one with the one you sold, and then another one, and then essentially you can get almost all of them almost for free, which is honestly a good idea to get all of these sets, and essentially then start selling them as well, and you never run out of money. It's pretty good. Now that's the guide. If you want to see on how to do them and how it usually happens, I actually made a video about me trying to make one of my first legendaries on a new account, and it was a disaster. It took me like an hour or so, or more than an hour, because every time I would essentially forget about one material, and you can check that in the description. It was a very fun video, and you can, that way maybe you won't do the mistakes I did. More on that, subscribe to the channel, go to my Twitch stream and follow there, because we do the meta trains that essentially give you all the materials they need for this, and to get a lot of gold, 20 plus gold per hour. Just go there, hang out with us, and get a lot of gold while having fun. See you guys around. Subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.